Well, today's readings, responsorial hymn, everything talks about sheep and shepherds. Well, in my travels in the third world, especially in the Andes of Peru and in the highlands of Ethiopia, I actually got to witness shepherding done basically the same way it was done in the time of Jesus. And it's a 24/7 job. The shepherd lives out with the flock and sleeps with the flock and is always with the flock. And one of the most important times for a shepherd in protecting his flock is the time when the lambs are born. And the shepherd will wait there, and when the lamb is born, he'll immediately pick up the newborn lamb and speak into its ear, so that his voice, the voice of the shepherd, is implanted on the mind of the little lamb. And that lamb then will follow two voices for the rest of its life, the voice of its mother and the voice of the shepherd. And that is the primary way a shepherd gets a flock to follow him. It's his voice. I mean, he may have a shepherd dog or two, but the main power is the voice. And so when the shepherd calls them, they'll follow him. The shepherd protects them, gets them to greener pastures, gets them to water. And when a sheep gets lost, it is presumed that that sheep got lost because that sheep forgot the voice of the shepherd. So as Jesus tells us in the parable, the shepherd finds the lost sheep, puts it on his shoulders and carries it home. That sheep's not hurt. That sheep could walk just fine. He has him up on his shoulders so he can talk into the sheep's ear all the way home so the sheep will never forget the voice again. It's kind of like raising kids, or so I'm told. Sometimes, I'm sure it's very rare, but once in a blue moon, you'll tell a child to do something and they just won't do it immediately. And then the mother has to say it again. There's a lot of kids here. Has that ever happened to any of you kids? Anybody over here? Oh, I got a lot of nods, heads. Oh, yes, oh, yes. And then when they tell you to do it the third time, she probably doesn't say it the same way, does she? She probably says it with a different tone. She might even add some words. Yeah, like the shepherd with the lost sheep, she wants to make sure you understand that you have to follow her. Yes. Well, it's true with shepherd and sheep. It's true with our mothers, because in most cases, I know in my case, my mother was the first person to introduce me to the faith. One of my earliest memories, in fact, my earliest memory of the faith is kneeling down next to my mother in our little hallway out in Canton, in the house, before a beautiful statue of the Infant of Prague, and my mother teaching me the Hail Mary and the Angel of God, those two little prayers. And that's my first memory. My mother teaching me to faith. Before I ever remember going to Mass, before I ever remember going to religious study, I remember that. And I think in many cases, that's true in our lives, that our mothers calls us and shows us by word and example the importance of following Jesus. And so in honor of that on this beautiful Mother's Day, I'd ask all the mothers to please stand. And if you're with them, you go down and put your hand on their shoulders. You guys go down and put your hand on your mother's shoulders. Go ahead. Fine. And put your hand on their shoulders. And that's right. Yeah, put a hand on his shoulder. There you go. Okay, very good. Loving God, as the mother gives life and nourishment to her children, so you watch over your church. Bless these women, that they may be strengthened as Christian mothers. Let the example of their faith and love shine forth. Grant that we, their sons and daughters, may honor them always with a spirit of profound respect. And we ask this in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Now, with a big round of applause for our mothers.